Hey guys, Fusebox back on Raid Shadow Legends, and I got some exciting news. This team that I built, this Unkillable, no damage buff team that I built for Iron Twins, turns out you can climb from 12 to 15, and I found a weakness. We'll get into that as I find it through the video, but man, this team is going to change the game for a lot of people. Of course, you have to have 3 heroes. Pretty much, you got to have either two Rosh Guards, 2 Helicaths, or 1 of each, and a Warcaster, or 3 of Rosh Guards and towers in any way. But this team, we're kind of in uncharted territory here because as the speed changes on the boss down to 12, we're using the ability to draw the boss into our tomb by increasing his turn meter. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's look at a couple of the things I think people are probably messing up the most on is making sure that you get 2 A1s out of your Helicath, because I've caught myself not taking it off auto for that second A1. So I'll probably talk about that a lot because I'm thinking that's what's going to be messing people up. Lord knows there may be something I'm missing, because this is, like I said, this is kind of groundbreaking stuff, right? It's exciting, but I need some of those big brains to help me out. If there's, finding out the speed thresholds, I have to change speeds a little bit each day. I can only afford to do so much. I've got 6 million silver in total right now, and we have an artifact event coming up, but let's jump into it. But because this team is using the ability to boost the turn meter when you buff up, it actually works on stage 14 and 13. Now, I've only ran it once on each, and I haven't tried 12. We're going to try all of this together. Let me just jump into it and talk about the things that I want to make sure you remember. Whoever you're bringing for damage, they do not need to bring any buffs. You don't need any rings that are going to give you shield when you attack. Every buff is going to change the speed tune. But let's real quick jump into it. Okay, so slowly I'm trying to figure out what the speed thresholds are. Somebody was having trouble they had a 248 Helicath, so I dropped into 248, and they were using 2 Cold Hearts. One was at 175. So I wanted to make sure that was going to work. Let's just jump in and talk about the one thing that I think is going to catch people is forgetting to take it off auto on the second Helicath A1. All right, he has to A1 twice. So what I do is I wait for this hit to come in, and right after Rosh Guard takes his first move, we take it off, and the second actual move, now the counterattacks are not A1s. Right here, you need a second A1, and then it's back to auto. Now, aside from that, let's zoom through this because that is the crucial point I think is going to catch people off guard. We'll just kind of watch and see how this goes. But you'll notice every time we put up buffs, we're forcing his turn meter bar to take a big boost. Let's watch. One person that does it a lot is when Warcaster takes his turn, he makes a big jump to force the tune back onto us. Like right there, just a big jump, bring it back onto us, and that's helping keep everything in sync, right? But the speeds are tight. I don't know the thresholds. I want to be completely upfront. I do not know the thresholds. So I'm going to show my masteries, and at the end, I have a couple people in Lore of Steel. I'll show what their true speeds are, but what's cool is that ability to boost that turn meter is letting me run stage 13 and 14. This could get everyone to the end and actually farm the end.
Don't worry, that's a motto, so we keep moving along. Driving down a Cabo in a sunburned Eldorado. Don't worry, that's a motto, so we keep moving along. By tomorrow, don't worry, that's a motto, so we keep moving along. Driving down a Cabo in the sunburned Eldorado. Don't worry, that's a motto, so we keep moving along.
So you can see it's working as intended. I'm going to go over my speeds in case you're catching this and didn't catch the first video about it. It'll just take a second because then I want to show what's amazing. I don't know how far down it can go, but we're going to find out right now. So we're going to go to stage 14, but let's take a look at the speeds. Because I'm trying to learn the speed thresholds. I don't know how the guys that helped Deadwood Jedi, I don't know how y'all figured this out, but help me out, brother. We get this thing in the best possible speeds because I don't know. Is there a risk at running 246? Should he be 245? All I can do is say this is working and change it by one speed every now and then. So today I'm running 248. I know that 249 was working. 248 is working on Helicath. This is the setup. But he has to A1 twice. That's the only reason it's not full auto. And I really think that's going to be everyone's biggest Achilles heel is forgetting to take it off auto, because the one time I saw a loss, when I played it back, that's what I did. I left it on auto and forgot to take it off and use it at the right time. He has to do 2 A1s and then he gets going. This allows me to open with an A1 so I could just take it off auto and put it right back on. I've got a cold heart at 175. Yesterday I used Septimus at 177. My other cold heart is still at 177. And again, full disclosure, I don't know what the thresholds are, but I did try this for a viewer to make sure that their team could work. Roshkard is at 252. I know for sure he has to be faster than the Iron Twins. So he's got to be at least 252. Again, I don't know how fast you can go, so I would suggest sticking to these speeds. And I got 246. He has to be behind Helicath. And that's all I'm sure of. I don't know if he'd be even safer at a different speed. So we're going to go on. This is what's cool. Because of the ability to change the boss's speed tune by forcing him to increase his turn meter when we buff up, it's working on stage 14. Now let me go over the taking it off auto one more time. So that's our first A1 with Helicath. Everybody else is set up to do their thing. We take a hit. Roshkard will take an ability, we take it off auto, and then after this counterattack, we make sure to A1 right here and put it back on auto. So crucial to making this work. But now remember, we're on stage 14 now. And notice what's happening. I don't even know what the boss's speed is on stage 14, but we're forcing him to catch up with us. And so we're going to find out today. I'm going to end this when we see that we've beaten it, so I don't waste a key and I could go farm stage 15 later. But we're going to make sure that this works all the way through. And honestly, I've already tried it on 13. We're going to try that. There might be some hiccups. I don't know. As the boss's speed changes, I have no idea. But if it ran once for me, so this will be my second attempt. We just want to watch it through. And I got a feeling that if it gets out of sync just a little bit, we'll take a hit and we'll be okay. We'll get back on track. But I don't know what will cause that. At some point, Helicath might be too fast on stage 13 or 12. We're going to watch it and see. But we're able to keep drawing the boss back onto our speed tune. We're drawing him in every time we put up the block damage buffs. That's why you don't want to bring any extra buffs. Because, somebody was asking about the Mytha. Super smart idea, keeping her unbooked on 4-turn cooldown so she could play the role of Warcaster. And I don't know if that'll work, but I know her A1 puts up a shield. Would that be enough to ruin a tune? I honestly don't know. And I can't test it because I don't have an unbooked Demitha. But it's possible. It's possible. This is, like I say, new territory. We've never really had a boss where we controlled their turn meter while controlling our own speed tune. But this is cool because people who get stuck around stage 12, I assume, is where it gets tough. This can let you climb through 13, 14, and 15. Again, I can't promise it's always going to be perfect. I really don't know. But I'm having nothing but luck out of it. Like nothing but luck. So let's zoom through this. Okay, we clearly can beat this. I want to exit. I want to use that key to farm stage 15 since I can do it easily now. Stage 14, it worked clean as could be. Again, I'm not saying that there will ever not be a hiccup, but let's see how far we can push this. We're gonna start it just so you can once again see the beginning, and then we're gonna move on and try stage 12. Who knows how far it could go? But what we're gonna do is wait for the second attack from the boss. Let Rosh card take a turn. Take it off auto. Watch the counter attack. A1 back on auto. But watch, even on stage 13, we're forcing that turn meter to bring him back into sync with us on our stage 15 tune. This is actually, I don't know, pretty groundbreaking stuff. And again, somebody out there could probably tighten these speeds up and figure out the actual thresholds, how high and how low you can go. I'm doing it every day. I'm changing a few speeds here and there just to kind of get it all together. But this is super cool. Let's zoom through it and assume that it's going to work. We'll slow down if anything goes wrong and see if the speeds are starting to get out of hand and if we can work through that. Okay, I'm gonna have to play that back, but we took a hit. Rosh card somehow took a hit there, but it looks like he had no problem surviving it. And as long as that's something that happens early on, then we're back. It looks like we're synced back up. So I'm gonna watch that back. Let's make sure this stays in tune on stage 13. I'll try to figure out what that is and then cut back in because I want to try stage 12. Okay, before our cold heart finishes the job, we're going to get out of here. Let me find out what happened on that hit just so that we know. So I just discovered one weakness when I watched why Rosh card took a hit. One of my cold hearts took him past the threshold where we take a slam, and she did it while he was not under his buff. It was in the middle of the turn meter. We were still going and still in tune. So one thing we need to watch out for is you apparently can take that hit. If you break that 50%, 40%, 60, whatever, those thresholds where the boss gets a free hit, kind of like Ice Golem, you might want to make sure everyone has enough defense or HP. It just happened to be on Rosh card with crap gear, and he took it pretty well. But it didn't mess up our tune. We just took that hit while one of our heroes was waiting for his new buff. Something we want to watch out for. But right now, the tune is working, so we're going to 12 just to find out if it works here. Again, watching to make sure we take 2 A1s. There's one of them. Still looking to be in tune pretty well. We're going to take it off auto. Make sure we get our A1 in here. Back to auto. I haven't tried stage 12 yet, so hopefully this works out. And pay attention, if you see somebody take damage, you can replay that and see what happens. We're crossing that threshold and forcing a hit while somebody is vulnerable waiting for our turn to end.
Really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going. Don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going. Don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep going. Don't really know where the world is gonna go.
Okay, it's clearly working. Stage 12 all the way to 15. This is pretty insane. On the note of the chance that you proc by doing too much damage and taking that hit while you're vulnerable, it would probably be even safer if you had, say, a Geo with 550 plus accuracy and maybe a Poisoner doing your damage instead of these big hits that we're taking. So even on stage 15, theoretically, there's the risk that you're going to do the wrong amount of damage at the wrong time while one person may have to soak up one hit. So if it's a weak character, you know, since most of our damage is coming from War Master or Giant Slayer procs right now, you probably could just put some defense on your heroes, right? Some HP and some defense, and try to keep them to where they could soak up one hit just in case. But I got pretty bad gear on all these heroes, and he held up to that hit pretty well. But it's worth noting that you don't trigger those if you're bringing damage over time, like poison and HP burns. But I'm going to call this in just a second when it looks like we definitely beat stage 12. I'm starting to, but this is kind of groundbreaking for real. Every stage you can climb all the way up the ladder if you have these 3 heroes. That's the only problem. It takes 3 heroes, and Warcaster, it either takes, oh God, no, get out of here. Whoo, I almost wasted a key. You can do it with 3 towers, 3 Helicats, 2 towers and a Warcaster, 2 Helicats and a Warcaster, but you got to have 3 people, and they got to be on 4 turn cooldowns, putting up block damage. So stage 12 we got in the bag. I'm just trying to save my keys. Who knows? Stage 11, we'll zip through this one and just see if it works. Okay, stage 11 is where we at the beginning. It wasn't synced up the same. The speeds are getting way away from the boss, but interestingly enough, the boss does so little damage so far. It's doing just fine. Obviously, you can tell it's not speed tuned on stage 11 down. But 12 and up is pretty much the key for everybody, right? And it can fight through these. I'm not saying it's a tune for them, but it can fight through anything 11 and down. It looks like clearly most of the time it's still unkillable, but 12 and up, it's a perfect tune. Absolutely insane. Maybe some of those big brains will help me get the speed thresholds one of these days, and we'll get this worked out. I have no idea who to reach out to for that, but this is an amazing team. If you got these 3 heroes, especially if you're in my case where you got these heroes, you used them back in the day, you've got a new team, like I've got a Demitha team, doesn't need any of them. This is an insane way to find a use for them. So it looks like we're going to beat it, even though it's not a perfect tune. It syncs back up pretty quickly every time we do take a hit. Maybe if one of them was a healer, we'd never have to worry about it. You could just be healing. But anyways, digressing from that, it looks like you could beat the other stages with it. But 12 and up, we have got it going on. I just wanted to do a little update on the little bit that I've discovered. This is insane. Let me know if you make this team. Hop into Discord. We can learn together. If something's going wrong, let me know what's happening. We'll try to figure it out. But absolutely an insane team that's going to change things for a lot of people. Now we know you can climb from 12 all the way to 15 and start farming that better stuff. Until next time, enjoy the grind.